I don't know if they have the map, but it stretches from Jacksonville, North Carolina to Jacksonville, Florida. And if you look at the map, Brunswick County is the first thing on the map. So guess what that means, y'all? That means we are Gullah Geechee. And a lot of people hear the word Geechee when I would go home and ask people, how come we didn't know this? Because we didn't know the word Gullah, I don't think. My mama said we knew Geechee, but Geechee had a negative connotation. A lot of people didn't want to be Geechee. She told me Geechee was fighting words. But now, so I was trying to figure out what the disconnect was. But I'm so grateful that we still have elders here today. We still have community members that know bits and pieces of that story, because it's helpful for people like me to hold on to those stories. So I want to let y'all know that it's okay to know exactly where you come from. Ain't nothing wrong with being a descendant of an enslaved African, because slave was their occupation. That was not their identity. Okay? Yeah. And I want y'all to know that everybody that's in this room, y'all are here because y'all's ancestors have been in Brunswick County for generations. So that means you descend from Gullah Geechee people. And it's okay to claim being Gullah Geechee. It's ain't nothing wrong with that. It is not a negative thing anymore. We are holding tight to what we know by recalling what has always been. Our ancestors have done the real work to bring us to where we are today. So I do probably Gullah Geechee is something I think is important so that we can hold on to what we have. And at this time, Dr. Chieftess and I would like to introduce a very, very important guest.
So at this time, we are honored to have a distinguished guest with us, Queen Quet.
At this time, we would like to welcome our esteemed guest, the Chieftess of the Gullah Geechee Nation, Marquetta L. Goodwine. She is a published author, a computer scientist, lecturer, mathematician, historian, columnist, preservationist, environmental justice advocate, environmentalist, film consultant, and artivist. She is the founder of the premier advocacy organization for the contribution of Gullah Geechee culture, the Gullah Geechee Sea Island Coalition. Queen Quet has not only provided historical musical presentations throughout the world, but also the first Gullah Geechee person to speak on behalf of her people before the United Nations in Genevieve, Switzerland. So come on, let's clap for that. Going before us to advocate for our people from the United Nations. Come on. Queen Quet was one of the first 7 inductees in the Gullah Geechee Nation Hall of Fame. She received the Anointed Spirit Award for her leadership and for her being a visionary. At this time, I want everybody to stand on your feet, and we are going to welcome the Chieftess of the Gullah Geechee Nation, Ms. Marquetta Goodwine.
Just a little while longer, everything quite be alright. Hold the children, fight on. Just a little while longer, fight on. Just a little while longer, fight on. Just a little while longer, everything quite be alright. When I have to pray on, just a little while longer, pray on. Just a little while longer, pray on. Just a little while longer, everything why be alright. Hold that children, fight on. Just a little while longer, fight on. Just a little while longer, fight on. Just a little while longer, everything why be alright. On that children, everything why be alright. Gullah Geechee's everything why be alright. Good afternoon. Glad to see y'all on the children. killing the anything like that. They come all the way up this, you cook your 4.5 hours for dinner. And things like that. So in her take you on the welcome. So I went on the top of Marsh, I see plenty that coming up just now. He talk about the dark branch. I see plenty of the tree and things still a sweet like this. But I see plenty of them chopped off. I see all kind of things pull up even right here on side y'all. Where I know a tree we did it just a little while ago. But people are letting me crack my teeth and say this shall all around the world. One of us take care of the root for hitting the tree. And the rest of the people broke up down, crack it down, go on and took up on the people and say they have Gullah Geechee proverb, life from the pits of hell. That is the saying, that is the slogan of the Gullah Geechee Sea Island Coalition. That didn't come to me in a vision. The ancestors give me that for say. Before I start the Gullah Geechee Sea Island Coalition, would be the first organization in the world with Gullah Geechee in the name. Because people ain't gonna take nothing but we say we together. There are some people who be cracking in another week, they have me like a this show. Because they're gonna tell people, say, Geechee D in Georgia, Gullah D in South Carolina. Then they go on and say, well the Geechee D one, well, and then the Gullah D one, see how much I say, y'all cracky, because Gullah Geechee the same people. You see, we don't want. We're not 2, we're 3 and 4 and 5. We don't want. So you see the Gullah Geechee Nation flag and things like that. You see what they in the middle? What they in the middle? A tree. But that ain't just everyday tree in it. Y'all see what make up the body of the tree? What be in the body of the tree? The body of the weed. The Igbo man think I'm a Lincoln, Univa, Gullah, Geechee, Menti, Temni, Fiki, Bibio, the Amasi, the Adisto, the Cree, that we. So you see in a human body, intertwined together like a this rooted in this see how much soil. This soil, or what they call the coastal region. Now see, when you get it, what we. Plenty of time when I've been coming here in North Carolina before, and I said, we don't have me know the Gullah Geechee. I did it, and maybe 1 or 2 people. So when I go and come up to a few months ago and things like that, and I get it, but the dark branch, they tell me, say, we got a Marsh branch. I said, which one you know? We the Marsh branch or we the dark branch? They said, no, one of the dark branch. I said, but I got to go down the river for you to the Marsh branch? They said, yeah. And so all the branches stick up for the tree. They said, yes, ma'am. I said, okay then. But they said we can bring our branches together and things like that. We gonna have a reunion. And I said, well, great God, I sure won't be there for sure with them, because you know all the rest of the time I've been to come here and say, Gullah Geechee this and that, and you, there ain't no we. They would say, that ain't the in South Carolina, ain't the up here. That ain't the we. And I said, oh, but you to tell me that ain't the we. But you think, say, you speak English, ain't it? And then they said, huh? I said, right, you think you speaking English when you gonna say to me, that ain't me? That is not English. How about that? I said, but for years when I came to North Carolina and said Gullah Geechee, I could not draw a crowd. We couldn't get a dozen people to meet in a church in downtown Wilmington when I said I wanted to have a meeting of Gullah Geechees. And this was long before, and let's get this story straight. All right, so that when you carry, I want you to run tell this. Okay? The first organization in world history to ever have Gullah Geechee in its name was the Gullah Geechee Sea Island Coalition that I founded almost 30 years ago. No other organization existed before. I'm the person that took the idea to U.S. Congressman James Clyburn to do something to protect our communities and our land and to hold on to our history, heritage, and culture on that land and have that land be in our hands. Okay? Now, that led to 9 years of my life working, going from the lower country up the hill in D.C., the place I'd rather not go at any given time. but having to go back and forth, and my organization, the Gullah Geechee Sea Island Coalition, pushing this issue. And the first time that Congressman Clyburn tried to get other sponsors on that bill, he could not get them. Because they had never heard of no Gullah Geechees. What's a Gullah? What's a Gullah? Is it Gullah? Is it Geechee? They didn't know what he was talking about. But all of a sudden, when I went out of the country to the United Nations and spoke about the human rights violations against my people, and how people were not just disrupting us, but displacing us from this coast, from Jacksonville, North Carolina to Jacksonville, Florida. People getting pushed off their land, killed for their land. See, we don't like to tell that part of the story, but you need to tell the truth and shame the devil. People have been killed for their land. So everybody ain't just not paying their taxes. Some people were threatened and killed, and they figured if they could get the most vocal and the strongest family members out the way, the rest of the family would go along with whatever the buck would ever say. You see? And so now people watching Silver Dollar Road online and wondering, where's that? Who are those folks? How could they do this to them? I said, they ain't the only community, they're just the one you watching on TV right now. So when I came up here and found out about y'all, I said, so thank you, Lord. My living and work is not in vain. But when I heard my sister saying the corridor map, the Gullah Geechee Cultural Heritage Corridor, I was the inaugural expert commissioner on that corridor because it evolved out of the 2006 Gullah Geechee Cultural Heritage Act. That was the result of the work that the U.S. Congress did after they heard there's some woman that done left St. Helena Island, South Carolina, and went all the way to Switzerland, and over there got the nerve where they told me not to do it, y'all. They told me, do not speak Gullah when you get to the United Nations. And I sat in that chair and I said, good evening, and all of that, and I gave my name, and then I said, but I must do as my ancestors and God has directed me to do. And I said, so I have to tell on the children who we done and think like that ain't where I did here for and all of this here. And the whole United Nations disrupted. They were like, oh my God, what's going on? And if you've never watched even a movie or been to United Nations, you might not realize, but people from all over the world have these ear cuffs on. So that means anybody who's talking, they could turn a dial to their language so they can understand the person who has the mic. And there are interpreters up there. And they're speaking in French and German and English and Spanish and all these things, but they can't speak Gullah. So, when I started speaking, first the room erupted, and then somebody went shh, and the shh spread all over this huge building. And for the first time in a week, that building got quiet. Now, some people's nerves would have shattered at that moment, but everybody got quiet because even the interpreters had to be quiet because now all they could hear was Gullah. Because nobody in the building could interpret it but me. And I was the one speaking. You see? So when I switched back to English, then the interpreters could resume their job. When that clock shut down and I got up out the seat, I didn't know what would come of this, but I was surrounded by people from around the world speaking multiple languages saying, give me what you just, give me your speech, give me your speech, give me your speech. And I only knew to have a small amount of copies. They snatched some copies off my stack so quick it was ridiculous. I had to hold on to my original. They tried to take that. I was like, you can't have this one, that's mine. And this brother walked over, sister, I must have this. Where are you from? I said, it's the Sea Islands. This is where the Gullah Geechee are. What is this you are speaking? I said, Gullah. I must have this speech. Give it to me. I said, no, this is mine though. I don't have another copy. Oh, come with me. This brother takes me and we go to what looks like a wall, and that is not a wall, it's a door. We press on the spot and we go in. We're inside, there's photocopiers, there's all this stuff, but there ain't no paper. So we see this guy down the hall, he says, hey, come, we need paper. He said, you know you're supposed to bring your own paper. He said, and But we did our speech. The guy walks up to me and said, were you the lady that was just talking in that other language? I said, I am. He said, what you mean? I said, I didn't know, this is my first time here. I don't have paper. He said, come with me. We pressed on another wall and went deeper inside the building. And we walked in there. He said, this is the lady who just was talking. They said, oh my God, you were great. What language is that? What do you need? I said, copies of my speech. Them ladies ran copies of my speech. I went back out there with a stack, and as I walked through the crowd, people just took them. Because the brother snatched his, left me back there. I had to figure my way back out, by the way. But when I got back to the U.S., my phone is ringing. My emails are going off of people in D.C. And all they would say was, we heard somebody left the country. Well, guess what? Looks like your bill is moving now. They said, great job. Hang up the phone. So the next thing I know, we have the Gullah Geechee Cultural Heritage Act passed by the U.S. Congress and signed into law by President George W. Bush, not Barack Obama. So when people talk about the corridor, they often now leave me out like I had nothing to do with it. So that's why I said, I'm going to give you the story so you can run tell that. But the Gullah Geechee Nation is where we live. We have nationhood status. This is the 25th anniversary of the Gullah Geechee Nation and my 25th anniversary as head pundit body of the Gullah Geechee Nation, or the head of state for the Gullah Geechee Nation. And it's a blessing and an honor for me to stand here today. Because when I say that truly I often ask God to please just make sure that my living and work is not in vain. When I walked up here and we got up here and I said, there's the black people, we got to be at the right place. They got on the different color shirts, they got to be my people. There's got to be Dark Branch up in here. They got to be there. And then I saw a shirt and I said, it don't say Dark Branch though. What does it say on that one? And they moved too fast so I couldn't read it. So I said, okay, there's got to be us. And then I heard somebody say, Queen Quet. I said, I'm in the right place. Somebody know my name. These are my people. They know you're in the right place. And I walked in and the sign said, welcome Queen Quet, then I know I'm in the right place. But y'all are in the right place. You are positioned in the correct place at the right time with divine timing. Because if there is no other time again in history, then we need to work together, children. And don't get weary, it is now. Black people need to know we can and we do work together. Yeah. And that's the only way you're going to have anything. All the elders who was up here, I've heard these stories before. I could just replace the name and put another town, another island up there. And I've heard these stories before. But the difference here is the fact that even though Marsh branch might have gotten moved, Dark Branch, y'all got to be the tree that stand beside the rivers of water, shall not be moved. Y'all have to take that. Y'all have to take that marsh and those roots of that tree into your heart and into your soul and continue to take care of that root so that these little fruit that's coming off, these little germ within you, will be the ones up here later telling the story how they got the land back. How they still held on to what you worked so hard for, that you paid all these taxes for, that you sweat in this hot sun for. Although we ain't grow up with no air conditioning, let's tell the truth and shame the devil on that part. So it's a blessing to be in this building. Or y'all would have been right up there with one of my favorite songs. We in the front yard. We in the front yard getting in this hot sun. Together and reunite with one another. So it's a blessing to be at this point in time. But do y'all own this building? So how nice would it be the next time you invite me to tell me we groundbreaking on the Marsh and the Dark Branch building. They're right. Speaking into existence. Y'all clap a little light and slow. That mean them the ones that ain't gonna give y'all nothing. They ain't gonna do no work. Y'all just look around the room at your cousins. You know who they can clap. So we know how we are. It's a family reunion, right? So I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. There are people who be, you know you ain't getting nothing from them. So just accept them for who they are, pray for them that they get better, but y'all keep the work going. You see? Because it don't take everybody, but it takes somebody. And so I continue to appreciate what is happening in my lifetime. These brothers honored me last week in my hometown. And I said to them, when your own people honor you, you doing something. And they said, well, yeah, you're doing a lot of something then. I said, right, because we tore you out real quick, okay? I said, but to then this week come up here and walk in that door and see the sign, I was like, thank you, God. If I don't do nothing else, I can walk back out the building right now, take my sign, put them in the trunk of the car and go home, because I know that my work has managed to reach here finally. That instead of 2 people, 250 they told me is up in here now. So this is a good news. So on behalf of our Minister of Information, Elder Carly Town, for the Gullah Geechee Nation, our other Gullah Geechee Nation leaders, I have to say thank you to all the 100 children who taught me not robbery for coming to this reunion. And forgetting about who you done. So like my sister said, say them, and I go with my elders said, say them with your chest. But we don't say them like that gal, because the gal said, been in Charlotte, she's like, we are Gullah Geechee. We don't do all that. I said, where she at now? Oh, she done with her teacher now. She done dropped her book. She done missed your lesson for the day. I said, what she done? We are. It's clear up there. We be Gullah Geechee anointed people. And she in college, I sent her back to class now. I sent her back to class. I like straight A students like I was. Come on now. And right there, the cheat sheet is before you. What that say, y'all? Oh, Lord, what that business now? Let us pray, Pastor. Let's try it again. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, because the rest of them act like they don't see no more words. Let's do that one more time. 1, 2, 3. There we go. We be. We be. Anointed people. And may God continue to rain down anointing on all of you. And may you continue to be blessed. You have blessed my soul today. So 4.5 one way and 4.5 one way, that totals 9. And that is the number of completion. And I know that the work is being done and it is complete. We have come full circle, and now it's time to take all those degrees of energy and then take them and make more circles that ripple out from this coast for generations. I appreciate you, Dark Branch. I appreciate you, Marsh Branch. God bless y'all, and I appreciate you inviting me to be here today. God bless all the 100 children. Hold on, I'll be right back. Thank you very much for he started to talk, they said, no, the people standing up, so he stopped talking. I appreciate the standing ovation.
But I wanted to just say how much you don't even realize. I was stalking you online on Instagram.
You see, I figured you would. You want to tell them what you did to me last year? Okay, tell them what you did to me last year.
So I was getting a little discouraged. My Aunt Barbara inspired me to like look into our community history. So about 2 or 3 years ago, we started the association.
Okay.
And as I was warned by some of the other people who have done this work, they were saying, be careful, because our community, we don't work together like we used to. So you probably don't get frustrated, people ain't want to talk, families got this beef and stuff, so you never, don't be discouraged.
Right.
And I was literally, I talked to my wife and my sister about it. I said, we started it, but it might be time to shut it down. And I had an invitation, I got an email from the then at the time President Biden about coming to a Juneteenth festival, right? And this was right before he left office. Yeah. And we're in the hot sun in DC, waiting, and the person I was stalking on Instagram was before me, Queen Quet. Yeah. And I was kind of nervous. I mean, there was a lot of different dignitaries in the line, but I was like, this is the one I was most nervous to talk to, because I knew that I was struggling to try and get this organization off the ground. And I talked to you then, and you said, where y'all at in North Carolina? I'm coming.
Yes, and I did.
And you here.
Yes, sir. And but let me pause right there. Because see, that's his perspective. Let me give y'all mine, right? So we done been in this hot sun waiting for about an hour almost before they open up the security gate. Soon as the security gate opened, I'm at the front now. I'm about to go through. I hear Queen Quet. I'm like, who this? Right? I turn. He's on that side because he's at the end of the line. I'm at the front of the line. The line is curved like this. So he goes, Quet, and he starts telling me real quick who he is, and he one of the home people. And I'm like, yeah, but these black people in this line, we got to keep moving, right? So he said, can I get a picture with you? I said, son, you better hurry up, right? And he came and we went, boom. And I said, all right, love you, take care. Where you from? Where you at? He told me. I said, I'll be there. That's how that went. You see what I'm saying? And I didn't forget him because of that moment. Because I said, boy, all these black people out here, we've been hot and we want to get in this White House. So you ain't going to have me holding up the line. You know? But that was beautiful, and that meant so much to me for one of my own home people to be in that line. Go ahead.
No, you really inspired me. I think you really inspired this community to continue this work.
Good.
Especially in spite of everything that's going on with the assaults on our history.
Yes.
And so at this time, we're so gracious for you taking the time out of your busy schedule. We want to present to you 2 gifts from our store, including our community history, as well as a coloring activity we got put together about our community. And also, we have artists in our community. And that's one thing I want to shout out. We have, what we wanted to do is keep this all black everything in terms of everybody we work with. And so we have amazing DJ Ashby who's here with us. And also my cousin Karen, who's a whiz and one of the co-founders of this organization. What she don't tell people, she's also an artist as well. And she, Karen right there, she actually took time out of her busy schedule and to draw the painting like this.
Yes, that's the one that I was just talking about. Yes.
And so we'd like
I was about to snatch up and carry my car.
And so what are you doing? And thank you so much, Queen. God bless you.
Thank you.
And thank you.
All right. Thank you for the blessing.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Oh, we got to do something else? Oh, she got to get in there. She pulled them off. I'm turning this way for y'all.
You gonna be at coming tomorrow?
Me? Or y'all? You. Okay. Oh, I ain't gonna be here. I ain't gonna stay tonight. We heading right back. That's why I said that 9 this time. I usually do stay. So had I known about the church service tomorrow, I definitely would have stayed. But that's all right. That just give me another reason to come back again. Yes, that's all. And so because I'm started at the church, I ain't finished with the church. I got love for the church. We had a wonderful time afternoon, really learning about your history. But this is a blessing, and I can't wait to read all this. You know that day I was trying to steal your book, right? I was trying to take your book. I was like, I need to read. I need to know who the folks are. So thank you for this. This is beautiful, and this is outstanding. I appreciate it. And one of the things I do want to say is I'm going to come through, my brother Phil here and I are going to come through. We have several events, including Gullah Geechee Family Day that launches Gullah Geechee Nation Appreciation Week. So we have packets of information that I'm going to come through and give to each of you. So y'all ain't got to bum rush me. I'm about to come to you so that I can hand these to you, and hopefully y'all will come down the coast, get a couple bucks. Y'all need about 4 or 5 buses. Bring it all down, bring everybody down to us. It's the last Saturday in July. All right, it's Gullah Geechee Family Day, and that is our huge reunion of Gullah Geechees worldwide. And it's taking place at historic Penn Center on my home island, St. Helena Island. So we also have some other events, and we'll give you all those, and that way y'all can come on out and connect. But I look forward to working with you all some more and keeping the organization going. All right, peace and blessings.